Alright, welcome back everyone. I may not be very lively today. You know, when you become a chronic pain patient, you get exhausted so easily. I'm very exhausted. Very exhausted. Very, very, very exhausted. Okay. And the more I use my arm, it hurts. And the more I use... I'm checking all the audio and stuff. Okay, here we go. So, one thing I'm getting concerned on is that doing this is going to become more and more difficult. Like, I used to just do this, like, just posting these on, Facebook, encouraging people to read news articles, because, you know, like, actually one of the news articles that I covered last week was, like, just yesterday reported and reacted to by a bunch of different YouTubers. And that's what I mean, like, I don't know that, some of these, like, I think there's some really good exposés that there's, you know, like, some essays that have been done by YouTubers where they've like, researched something in depth, like Jessie Genders or something. They do a really, like, she does a really good, just phenomenal job of doing that, but I wouldn't call that a news report. I'd call that, like, well, it's an essay, but it's kind of like watching a documentary. But as far as news goes, I mean, like, here's your reporter. Well, wait, this one where it doesn't name the reporter. It just says Guardian staff. But it's getting harder and harder to trust this because this administration is cracking down so heavily on anything that's critical of them whatsoever. And when you do that, you can't get facts. You can't get truth. You know, like, it can be true that this administration is just dropping the ball on a lot of stuff. And that means it's getting harder and harder to trust media. It's, I mean, even for conservatives, you know, like, there could be bombs going off outside your house, but the media is like, oh, we've been hearing reports about bombs and stuff. That's just so silly and ridiculous. I mean, goodbye to free media, you know, like, not goodbye. It's not the end of free speech. I want to be very clear on that. Even if the government or the system is telling you to do something, my position is that you should do it what you want to do anyway. So, you know, if they're like, oh, don't report on our fumbles, report on their fumbles, ignore them, do it anyway. Let them sue you into the dirt, you know, until you have no more money, and then just keep reporting the facts. Yeah, that's what I think people should do. But anyway. Oh yeah, I haven't. I think it's this. There we go. That's it. Alright, so this one by The Guardian. Nothing stops reporters. Trump talks down Pentagon restriction on journalists. So, I mean, if Trump is standing up for free journalism, free and fair journalism, good for him. Donald Trump appeared to talk down about Pentagon restrictions that aim to severely limit journalists' ability to report on U.S. military issues. And there was a news article that came out that I didn't do a live stream about that I think is very, very important. And I actually brought it back up just because of how important it is. The president faced questions about the directive as he departed the White House for Charlie Kirk's memorial service on Sunday. Asked whether the Pentagon should be in charge of deciding what reporters can report on, Trump said, "No, I don't think so." And he shouldn't. If that's Trump's position, good. I don't agree with Trump on. I don't agree on Trump pretty much on anything, but if he's standing up for free and fair freedom, like press, yeah. He added, nothing stops reporters. You know that. Wild. I would not exist. In a memo issued days earlier, U.S. military demanded that journalists must pledge not to gather any information, including unclassified documents, that has not been authorized for release, or else risk revocation of their press passes. Using an abbreviation for the recently rebranded Department of War headed by Trump appointee Pete Hegseth, the memo said Department of DOW information must be approved for public release by an appropriate authorizing official before it's released, even if it is unclassified. And in a post on X, Hegseth said Friday, the press does not run the Pentagon, the people do. If the people run the Pentagon, you need to let us start making decisions and you need to listen to us, but that's not what you're going to do. The press is no longer allowed to roam the halls of a secure facility, wear a badge, and follow the rules or go home. The memo follows an announcement by Hegseth in May regarding new press restrictions at the Pentagon. These limit reporters' movements within the building to specific areas, including the press pens, food court, and food yard. Under previous presidential administrations, reporters typically had more freedom of movement within the Pentagon. Hegseth has severely limited media access after facing backlash for sharing sensitive information about the U.S. strikes in Yemen in March in a Signal group chat where a journalist was accidentally included. Since he assumed office, Hegseth has maintained a hostile attitude towards major media networks. He ordered the removal of various long-standing news organizations, including the New York Times, CNN, Politico, and NPR, from their dedicated offices in the Pentagon. So you're just, I don't want people to report the truth because I made an oopsie daisy and they're going to report it. That's all that is. Fuck you. Own up. Be a man. Journalists, free press advocates have criticized the new restrictions. The National Press Club's president, Mike Balsamo, saying this is a direct assault on the independent journalism at the very place where independent scrutiny matters most, the U.S. military. If the news about our military must first be approved by the government, then the public is no longer getting independent reporting. It is getting only what officials want them to see. That should alarm every American. Freedom of the Press Foundation said this policy operates as a prior restraint on publication, which is considered the most serious violations of the press freedoms guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. And sounds like Trump agrees. Trump is like, as much as I hate the press, yeah, you need to let them report what they want. That's wild. I wouldn't have expected that, but yeah, good on him for maintaining freedom of press. USA Today. Trump approval poll. See where president stands on crime, immigration, and foreign wars. What is this about? I don't think this is related.
And then tell us the only solution is military occupation. We need poverty eradication, not military occupation. So Donald Trump, Governor Bill Lee, and every elected official in Memphis and Shelby County who want to ride with them, we say no. No. We say no. No. We say no. No.
We do not need troops in fatigues with armed guns and tanks. What we need is our police officers to be able to do their job. And so if you're actually thinking that this will solve crime, you don't understand what the root causes of crime are, and you don't understand the implications of what is happening here.
Damn it.
He saved my life.
That's right. This is. I haven't seen much or heard much about what is going on in Tennessee right now, like Memphis, with Trump rolling out the troops there. It's wild. When he did it to L.A., tons of coverage. When he did it to D.C., tons of independent coverage on TikTok and social media. Like not typical reporters, but people reporting themselves via means of social media. Social media right now is a fantastic tool. I wonder if, like, what if social media existed for World War II? I wonder if that would have made things way more difficult, because it's a lot harder to hide, to lie to the public when everybody's got, one of these in their pocket and can just pull it out and record things in real time. Be like, y'all, look at what's going on. This is for real. Look, this is the reality. And you can see it with your own eyes, with your own interpretation and everything. A majority of Americans disapprove of President Donald Trump's job performance and have unfavorable opinions on some of his signature policies, according to a recent national poll. In a 4-day Washington Post Ipsos poll released September 18th, the president's approval rating stood 43%, with 56% disapproving. The numbers are a slight uptick in his overall rating compared to his pollster's last survey in April, which saw a near historic low approval of 39%, which is a similar 55% disapproval. With a similar 55% disapproval. Sorry, I'm really out of it. Like I said, I'm exhausted. This chronic pain shit is getting to me. The results hem closely to the New York Times most recent polling averages, which put Trump at 43% approval and 54% disapproval as of September 21st. The Real Clear Politics polling average standards a few points higher, with an average approval of 46% and a 52% disapproval, also as of September 21st. So all these are saying, like, people are like, yeah, I don't know about Trump. Trump's handling of immigration, tariffs, foreign war. Crime was ranked as Trump's best issue in the poll. Still, 54% of Americans disapprove of how he's handling nation's crime, and 44% approved. As with the last several months of issues, specific surveys, tariffs, and economy earned Trump his lowest approval numbers. When it comes to the administration's tariffs on imported goods, 34% say they approve of the measures, while 64% disapprove. You know, I just want to say I really feel for the farmers. And I think there's a lot to say that the left, not Democrats, but the left. There's a lot that the left has done for the farmers in the past. And I think the left would like to do that for the farmers again. And handing over things to multi-conglomerate corporation is not going to help the small farmers, because the corporations, they just want to buy their land and then basically make it so that the farmer no longer owns their own land, but rather becomes an employee renting the property that they once owned. Opinions on president's handling. I don't want to go through all of this. I'm just going to hit the big things. Foreign policy crisis, the Russia-Ukraine, Israel-Hamas wars hit similarly low benchmarks, with majority disapprovals when it comes to Israel and Hamas. The poll found a 39% approval and 58% disapproval. Approval of the president's work on the Russia-Ukraine war was at 38%, with 60% disapproving. So I don't like how he's handling the war either. Trump's use of National Guard remains unpopular. I would hope it would remain unpopular. This is gross. This is very disgusting. Okay, I'm done with that one. This one, I clicked on this one because this is what I'm talking about, like where media coverage is getting kind of, unless they're criticizing it, because the idea that Tylenol is going to cause has a risk of autism, no. If autism, like the cause of autism, if you're looking at what's causing autism, you're going to have to look at genetics. It's going to be in genetics. It's going to be in neuroanatomy. It's not going to be in some really mild, almost worthless, like hardly can call it analgesic, over-the-counter medication. This is not where autism is coming from. President Trump plans to announce Monday that using Tylenol during pregnancy could contribute to autism risk and will advise pregnant women only to use it or generic acetaminophen for high fevers. Two senior administration officials told Politico. The officials granted anonymity to share details of the announcement in advance, said Trump would also highlight leucovorin, a cancer and anemia drug, as a potential therapy for people with autism? On what basis? We're going to look this up in a minute. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's really fascinating. Hold on. We're gonna look into that one. That's interesting. So he wants to use a cancer and anemia drug for people with autism. I don't know if that's a good idea. On Friday, Trump said he would have the big neurological condition. Autism is totally out of control. He told reporters, I think we maybe have a reason why. In a statement Sunday, White House spokesperson Kush Desi said the announcement will make historic progress in addressing rising autism rates. Finding the condition's cause is a major priority of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who promised earlier this year to have some answers in September. The Centers of the CDC reporting this spring that 1 in 31 American 8-year-olds was diagnosed with the condition in 2022, compared with 1 in 150 in 2000. The announcement would mark the first time the government has linked acetaminophen to autism. On what basis? Where's the study? Kennedy believes environmental factors are causing the rise in autism cases. Despite ample evidence to the contrary, he suspects vaccines are involved while many public health experts believe it's because of changing diagnostic criteria and more attention to the condition. Autism manifests itself across a spectrum, with some experiencing severe symptoms and others mild ones. It can affect social communications, we know what autism is. Tylenol, along with generic acetaminophen, is the most commonly used drug for pain relief and fever reduction in pregnant women who are already advised not to use Advil or generic ibuprofen because of the risk of miscarriage. Advil and ibuprofen are not the same thing as Tylenol. Ibuprofen's an NSAID. Advil? I think Advil is based off of Aspen. I think that's an aspirin-based thing. and it might be a type of NSAID as well. Tylenol is an analgesic. It's a very, very weak one, like super weak, but it's very deadly in large doses and taken for long periods of time because it attacks the liver in 3 different ways. Ibuprofen can be dangerous to your stomach lining and your kidneys when taken in large doses and for long periods of time. But see, there's no research. He's not saying any research, and then he's just recommending this cancer drug for autism. No research on why. No research on why Tylenol. None. And while he's doing this, he is directing, like, people have left the department, like one of his heads left because he keeps demanding that he lay off and get rid of people with high credentials, saying, don't release this report, don't do this, don't do that. He's dictating, like, what they can, like throwing studies out, throwing them in the trash, getting rid of them. Actual scientists up there, actual doctors up there asking for, like, where's your proof, where's the study, and the moment they ask that question, they're gone. That's what Kennedy's up there doing. Kennedy and other senior leaders from the government's health agencies are expected to participate in the announcement. One of the senior administration officials said, adding that officials were divided about the handling of the autism issue, and that Kennedy, even though he believes there might be a link between acetaminophen use in pregnant women and autism, had been reluctant to warn the public because you don't have any proof. You don't have any evidence. It's a correlation. I guarantee you it's some kind of correlation he has. The administration is still preparing a broader autism initiative. About a dozen working groups are slated to examine about 30 hypotheses about potential causes. A literature review intended to underpin that work isn't finished and won't be released Monday. Why are you telling us it won't be released? When Kennedy said he would have the answers about autism's cause by September, researchers who work on the condition said it would be unrealistic. By summer, the National Institutes of Health, which Kennedy tasked with carrying out the research for the cause, had already pushed back expectations, saying new grants would be awarded and work would begin in September, with updates likely next year. The Wall Street Journal reported earlier this month that the Department of Health and Human Services planned to link autism to Tylenol use in pregnancy and to deficiencies in some women in folate, a vitamin, and the HHS might point to this drug used for cancer as a therapy in some cases. Why this drug? What does it do? I'm very curious now. What does the drug do? Specifically, the newspaper reported that the administration planned to publish these claims in an unspecified report, such as a report does not, however, currently exist. One of those officials told Politico. Last month, a review of existing research published in the journal BMC Environmental Health and co-authored by the Dean of Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, Dr. Andrea, linked acetaminophen to autism and advised that appropriate and immediate steps should be taken to advise pregnant women to limit acetaminophen consumption to protect their offspring's neurodevelopment. The review, however, did not go far as to say women should not use it except when they... Yeah, we already knew that. You said that earlier. Last week, Kirk Perry, interim CEO of Tylenol maker, privately urged Kennedy not to cite Tylenol as a cause, according to the Wall Street Journal. Tylenol has had a history of issues because of, like, there used to be this guy that was, like, putting some kind of poison in Tylenol capsules. That's why Tylenol these days doesn't, like, pretty much no longer comes in capsules. It's, like, ultra sealed. Like, it's got, like, 15 different seals on it because, like, they kept finding, like, arsenic or something in it that was, like, killing people. So the Tylenol's had, like, a history of like, legal issues. And then you have RFK Jr. coming out going like, oh, Tylenol's the cause of cancer. This is bad PR for Tylenol. Tylenol does not want this. According to the Wall Street Journal, which was spun out of Johnson & Johnson in 2023, counts Tylenol among top brands. Yeah. In a statement, a company spokesperson told Politico it strongly disagreed with any suggesting linking Tylenol to autism and said that discouraging women from using Tylenol would force them to make dangerous choices between enduring pain that could be harmful to them and their babies and taking riskier painkillers. That's a fact. That's true. That's a good point. The facts are that over a decade of rigorous research endorsed by leading medical professionals and global health regulators confirms there is no credible evidence linking acetaminophen to autism, the spokesperson said. We stand with the many public health and medical professionals who have reviewed this science and agree we will continue to explore all options to protect the health and interests of American women and children. Like, what study did you do? What study did RFK do that made him suddenly be like, Tylenol? Like, what the fuck? Major medical groups still recommend acetaminophen during pregnancy. The American, what are they going to do when doctors who treat kids and people with autism, when the HHS, when the NIH and CDC and all that start recommending that they start giving people with autism this drug that is meant for cancer. I'm going to look this drug up. I'm very curious about this now. Like, what the fuck? Like, what does the drug do? And what could it possibly do to somebody who does not have cancer? Because there's risks and benefits to every medication. Every medication. There is no such thing as a medication or a drug out there that does not have risks. What is, like, there is a, when doctors prescribe this to someone with cancer, they are saying the potential benefits outweigh the risks of taking this medication, and you are talking about people who have cancer, something that could kill you. So the risks could be really, really high. But they do it because the benefit of treating the cancer is higher than this really high risk that normally you wouldn't recommend. Because if you don't have cancer, you shouldn't be. Oh my God. Major medical recommend acetaminophen during pregnancy. Yeah, you're missing the point. What about this other drug that they're trying? I don't know. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists say there's no clear evidence. Yeah. I don't believe that there is either. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's great. Yeah, hold on. No. Oh, wait, that's right. We need to do that. There, that's this one. I'm trying to get to the right screen. There we go. I'm going to look this up. Side effects. Here we go. Oh, no. Here we go. Okay. It's a form of folic acid. helps protect healthy cells from the effects of cancer treatment, like methotrexate. Side effects can range from common issues like nausea and diarrhea to more severe allergic reactions and neurological problems. Neurological problems. We're gonna give people with autism a cancer drug that can cause neurological problems. Okay. Common side effects: gastrointestinal issues, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, indigestion, and inflammation of the mouth and intestines. Weakness and fatigue, generalized weakness, and the feeling of being unwell, malaise. Decreased appetite. Neuropathy, nerve damage can occur. Taste changes. Some patients experience taste perversion. Hair loss. Serious side effects can include allergic reaction. That's everything. Seizures. Infections. Severe diarrhea. Drug interactions. Tell your doctor about all medications you take can interact with this drug, like flora, I don't know, some seizure medications. That would include gabapentinoids, phenobarbital, Jesus, and certain antibiotics. Kidney and liver problems. So patients with kidney issues or fluid backup may need different this drug that treats cancer and close monitoring. Elderly or debilitated patients, these individuals may be at higher risk for severe gastrointestinal toxicity. Anemia. Pregnancy and breastfeeding. He's trying to kill him. This is like... This is like trying to genocide people with autism. Oh, I want to see something. We're gonna... If a person without cancer takes this drug, it typically has no major effect unless they have certain underlying medical conditions, in which case it could cause side effects. It is a form of folic acid, and it is commonly used in patients with cancer to counteract the toxic effects of chemotherapy. Masks vitamin B12 deficiency, potential side effects and risks. Worsens epileptic seizures, allergic reactions, gastrointestinal issues, increase folate levels. When a non-cancer patient might take it. Cerebral folate deficiency, severe folate deficiency, or drug overdose. It can be used as an antidote for an overdose of a folic acid antagonist, such as methotrexate, which is a drug for cancer. What the fuck? What the fuck? I guarantee you nobody's going to talk about this for a long time until it becomes a big issue, and then you are going to have you know, these YouTubers that make video essays coming out, making video essays about this. Don't give this to your autistic kid. You're going to have people coming out, speaking out this back and blah, 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 blah. Now we're in this and suggesting this to this is crazy. This is crazy. We shouldn't be doing this. You should not be taking this unless you have cancer. Not side effects. I don't want to look at the side effects. There's another thing people don't think about. Long-term effects are different than side effects. Hematologic abnormalities, decreased white blood cell count. This could kill you. This could fucking kill you. This makes you